How to win on LinkedIn. That's the topic of today's episode of the How to Make Money as a Creator podcast. If you don't know who I am, my name is Matthew Lakajev. I run a program called 7-Figure Creators where we help small business owners and LinkedIn creators drive $10,000 to $30,000 a month to their business through LinkedIn, through creating their content, making their profile, lead generating profile, creating organic content, and sending direct messages to people all organically. And we're helping about 511 people now do it, and we're getting some insane results. The topic of this podcast was brought up because we were on a group call this morning, and we had an amazing group call. A lot of people turned up, which was sick. We've actually got multiple coaches in our program. We've got sales coaches, content coaches, and myself all coaching because we just need more and more people, which is awesome, like leveling up. And it was inspired by a question that somebody asked where they asked a thing where in our program, we get people to run what's called an offer campaign. And in the offer campaign itself, it's like where you essentially put yourself out there and you pitch to a whole bunch of people and try to get them to buy your stuff. And I won't go into detail, but like he said something to me which popped out, and he said, hey Matt, I'm just wondering, should I run my offer campaign now in November, or should I just wait till after Christmas because it's here in Australia and things happen? And when someone says like, should I do it now or in a couple of weeks or next year, this is like how you lose on LinkedIn. And let me explain why. The people that win at LinkedIn and the people that win at content creation, as an example, and the people that make the most amount of money, especially in our program, which we have like, dozens of people absolutely crushing it, right? The ones who win are the ones who just do and don't think. Speed. The way that you win at LinkedIn is you move fast. And what I mean by that, you need to remove next week from your brain. You can never say next week. You say now, immediately. The way that you win at LinkedIn is what people do. And I've found this as a tendency towards younger people. When a lot of younger people come in our program, they have the ability to move fast. And maybe that's because, haven't built a reputation. They're scared, don't care about posting stuff. They don't care about making a fool of themselves. There's a lot of reasons. But when a young, hungry person joins our program, they don't know what moving fast or slow is. They just do. And so a couple of clients, one client video, right? She joined and like in 3 weeks, she'd already messaged 300 people, closed about 7 deals and booked 50 meetings. She didn't know what an off switch was. She didn't know what normal is. She just did what felt natural. And what felt natural was build on the momentum. We've got another guy who just joined the program now. I actually might pull up, I can't remember what his name is exactly, but he booked a meeting 2 meetings 12 hours after joining. I'm going to pull up his name now. And it's just because he got up and he just did the thing and they just did the work. And yeah, so it was Eduardo, right? That was his name. He joined, he booked 2 calls in 12 hours. And then also he booked another sales call from yesterday as well, and a deal that was worth 9,000 to 12,000. Because he just immediately started doing it, and he actually ended up staying awake till like 2 a.m. in the morning, and he came to the call the next day, 5:30 a.m. his time, which crazy because we've got better times or his time zone. But he's like, yeah, I just wanted to come on the call. Because like he just didn't move slow. But like when this guy on the call, and this is nothing against him because I wasn't dude, but like whenever someone says next week, you're going to lose. Like it's like the way that you win at lead generation is everyone thinks that, on LinkedIn especially, everyone thinks, oh, I've got a plan, I've got to create this stuff, and then I've got to go out there. No. You go out there with a half-baked plan because you ain't got any idea. You create content, you DM people, you talk to people, and you try to do 10 times the volume of what other people do. It's exactly the same generating leads on LinkedIn as being someone in sales. The people who win at sales, why I became the number 1 in the world at Zoom after 6 months in my role that had 150 people, I just worked more. That was it. I finally was in a job where I could earn $70 every opportunity that I got, and then I passed over and I was like, oh my God. And then one day I was like, why don't I just do 10? And I made $700 in a day and I nearly shit myself. And I was like, my God. And so because I didn't have any preconceived notion of what sales is or how to do it, I just did. And then that's why I went well. It's the same when I was like an account executive, how I sold the most amount of Zoom phone globally in SMB that year is because I just sent 80,000 emails in a year and I just had 700 meetings because I didn't have any preconceived notions. The problem that a lot of people have fundamentally with LinkedIn is they just don't move fast enough. I wrote down a couple of notes here as well. I got another client, Punjab. He had 1,300 followers when he started. He's 24. He's now about to crack $100,000 cash collected since we started working together about 10 months later, at 24. And when he started, he just got on all the calls even at 2:30 a.m. And he just started sending messages. He just did exactly what he wants. And that's why sometimes I think young people, especially when it comes to content creation, have an advantage. That's why you see way more content creators that are younger, because they just hustle. They just hustle. It's why I like working with content creators, because usually we just fill the sales gap and they start making money. But like the big problem why a lot of people don't win at LinkedIn is because they just don't move fast enough. Is they say, I'm going to start 5 DMs a day. Start 100. 100. Like, there's no limit. It's like when someone's like, oh, I need to earn more money. Oh, but I played video games for like the whole weekend. It's like, you can just work the whole weekend. What do you mean? What's stopping you? I'll burn out. You don't burn out from doing something you love and really, really enjoy. You burn out when you're like stressed out of your brain and you hate it, right? Like there's some days where I work like crazy hours and I like never burn out and I feel fucking amazing. But then there's other days where I'm like doing shit I hate and I feel stressed about some other stuff. Then that leads to burnout. Like when I was an accountant, I burned out and pretty much had a breakdown because I fucking hated being an accountant. And so like, I was doing full-time uni and full-time work at the same time, but like I burned out because I hated it. But like now, some days when I work like 12, 14-hour days, like today, I have my first meeting at 6:30 and my last one will wrap up at 8:30 at night. I'm having a big break in between, but like, I love it. Like I'm serving people. I'm helping people get results. Someone on the call this morning said they closed a $67,000 deal. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's sick. And so like, it's the way to win is speed. And just who I'm speaking to here are the executives or the people who've come from corporate and they're starting their own business. They just don't move fast enough. That's the problem. I remember one time I was trying to understand why a client couldn't book many meetings when like every time I'd speak to him and he'd say it back to me. This is when I did more one-to-one coaching. And I was like, man, like when we did it together, it was fine. Like I showed you how to do it. And I was like, actually, can you just show me your screen? Just share me your screen and show me what you did. And I quickly realized why he couldn't book meetings. It was because he was moving his mouse and using his keyboard like my 85-year-old grandpa. He literally right-clicked on things and clicked copy. And then he moved to the other screen and I was watching it, shitting myself, being like, he was like moving at slow motion. It's like people just don't have urgency and haste. They don't put deadlines on things. Why I like working with content creators, especially who've been posting for a year, they fucking post every day for a year. No matter what, they get that done. They have the hustle. They can do it. And so when I think through, people just don't have the urgency and they don't move fast enough. They just move at snail speed. They move what they were moving like at a company where nobody gave a shit. And it's just like you're stuck in a wage cage and everyone just doesn't give a fuck. And they're just like walking to work and getting the bus to work in the morning. Everyone looks depressed. Everyone hates themselves. Can't talk about how much they want to get smashed on the weekend. Probably just snort lines of coke as well because they hate their life. Because their life sucks. But they don't. That's why people move at like snail speed. Like they don't have the urgency. But when it comes to making your own thing, you have to become an obsessive weirdo and move at the speed of light. Pranjal got up at 2:30 a.m. and got on calls. Video was pretty much stayed up nearly for 3 days straight doing it as well. Like Eduardo, who I was mentioning just there, stayed up till 2:30 a.m. Now, I know if you have kids and a family, right? Like you can't do that. And that's totally fine. But haste, speed, deadlines, 10 times more. Grant Cardone, that guy is so annoying. And I've listened to his book. You know, he talked about 10xing everything. But I very much agree with it. People just need to just say, what happens if I just did 10 times the amount? 10 times. Like, and that's the fundamental problem. People put limiters on themselves. And so if you want to win at LinkedIn, you move fast. You, instead of sending a couple of DMs, you send 200. You chat to 200 people. And then you learn, your rate of learning is faster. And there's a principle that's like, I can't remember what it is, but like if you wait and you try to assess to get 90% correct, but you wait a month, or you just go out after a week and you do 70%, you're going to accelerate 10 times faster. And like, that's the issue. And I think with a lot of people in corporate, I think they've been trained that way and that's why they can't do it. Like me, I have like a screw loose in my head. Like I just don't think about sometimes consequences, which is a bit dumb. That might be my personality type, but that's why I see a lot of young people do it. And when this question was asked, I was like, in my mind, all I was thinking about was like, dude, just literally launch it tomorrow. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, there's nothing. There's nothing. Like, if you really wanting to like make money and make things work, like you can make money in like a week. Like it's all up to you. How fast do you want to move? How much do you want it? How much are you going to obsess? Like, and because business is so disgustingly hard, especially when you're starting out, like you have to hustle like a crazy person and move really fast, because it's done through the rate of learning. How quickly can I learn from these failures? I'm going to fail hundreds and hundreds of times. And I know it's probably unexpected, this podcast and where it was going to go, but like I just had to express it because so many people, especially, and I know I'm being maybe ageist here, but a lot of old people, and like sometimes old people move fast. Like the guy I know, Jared, I think he's a dad. I think he's about 45, maybe 50, right? He moves fucking fast. Like he fast. And so like this isn't 100% of old people. I'm just saying that I've seen a tendency for younger people just to not think and just do, probably because they don't have a reputation that they've got to uphold and stuff like that. They don't have like this shame associated with reaching out to people. But like it's about moving fast. It's about how do I take this stuff and how do I condense it into like smashing it out. Like I'll give you an example. Like I produce 14 pieces of LinkedIn content a week, 3 emails, 7 podcasts a week, and I'm doing 1 long form YouTube. And people think to me, they're like, that's a lot. I'm telling you, in my brain, I could put out 5 pieces of LinkedIn content out. This actually, the other week I was sending emails every day because I've just got too many ideas. It's the limiting things that you put on yourself. You listen to the rules that other people have, and that's what holds you back. So when you're doing things, go fast, learn quickly, implement, because then when you do, in lead generation, like this is lead generation advice. This is not advice for like picking your family home you're going to live in with your family. That's not advice for that. This is lead gen. Move fast, learn fast, find out what works, and then double down on it. So more, better, new. So just do more and more and more of the same thing. Do it better and do it new. Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Give me a like or sub or a 5-star. I'd appreciate it.